I want to create a drop-down list that automatically updates when we add new items to the list and without having any empty rows. I don't want to do the lazy method of selecting the list and use it for the drop-down. This would not update when items are added or removed from the list. Ideally, you'd want to combine this method with the unique function or another way to remove duplicates. If you use the lazy method, you'll have to constantly update the drop-down menu anytime you add or remove an item. I can use the offset function in order to return an array that has all of my values. The syntax for the offset function is fairly straightforward. I'll set the reference as the first cell that I have data in. I don't want to move any rows down or any columns to the right or left, so I'll leave these two arguments as 0. My height needs to be equal to the amount of items in the list, so I'll use the CountA function to get how many rows I have with data in this list. I want to make sure that I select an area that is larger than how many items I expect in the list. This way the CountA function never has to be updated. Since I don't have Excel 365, I can't use array functions, and that's why you'll only see the first item in the list when I use the function. When we pass it into the data validation, using it as a list, it will work. If I remove a row from the list, my drop-down menu will automatically update and remove it without leaving any empty spaces. In the same vein, if I were to add another row, my drop-down menu will update automatically. This method does have one downside. If you were to remove an item in the middle of your list, you'd get an empty row in the drop-down. You'd also lose the last item in the drop-down menu. This is because the CountA function counts the number of non-empty rows in the range. So make sure if you delete a value, then you have to remove the whole row.